All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Schultz, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. All right, what a day it's been and what a week it's been. Let's see how we can update these prices for you. Let's take a look at what's going on in corn. Let's bring that up. Corn right behind me on the old big board. We're higher here today, but not by much. Let's go with the May up 2 1/4 cents to 6.13 3/4. We're about a penny and a quarter, penny and a half, penny and a quarter off the highs of the day. I guess that's the good news, right? July's up a penny to 6.02 3/4. New crop D's 5.55 1/2. That's up 2 cents, and that's just a tick off the highs. So that board looks better. Okay, that's not bad. We'll take it as of this has been a rough week, right? 8 cents lower in May beans to 15.02 3/4, and 8 cents lower in July beans to 14.90 3/4. Let's take a look and see what we've got going on in the new crop. That's Novi of 23. That's going to be lower, but how much? 6.5 cents lower. It's off about 0.5% today. The price, you ask, is 13.53 1/2. If we go over to the wheat in Chicago, the Chicago wheat, let's see what's going on over there. A little bit of a bounce here today, about 9 cents higher in the May. 6.74 3/4 is last. That's 2 cents off the high. Let's go out to D's. That's up 7 cents to 7.12 1/4. How about the hard red wheat in Kansas City? Let's take a look at that. The old HRW in KC, 12 1/4 cents higher in that May contract. 7.89 1/2 is last there. And that's about what, a penny off the highs? Yeah, it is. D's up 9.5 cents to 7.87 1/2. And that is a 1/4 cent off the highs there. So a stronger wheat board's kind of bouncing after the rough week that they've had. We've got spring wheat in Minneapolis up 3 1/4 cents to 8.20 3/4. We've got July 3 1/4 cents higher right behind it to 8.20 1/2. There you go. And finally, let's take a look at what we've got going on in cotton. Cotton's had a rough day today. 281 points lower in that May contract to 79.37. Go out to the D. That's 201 points lower as well to 81.06. All right, let's bring in our next guest analyst. That would be Todd Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading. Todd, thanks for being on the show here today, all the way from Las Vegas, sunny Las Vegas, I'm sure. All right, there's a lot going on. And we had Jay Powell twice on the Hill this week. We had a WASDE report, which didn't seem to help. What are your thoughts on all of this stuff if you want to put it in the mixer and give it a good swirl?
Okay, well, I mean, nothing makes sense, Scott, and it's a little bit confusing, I think, to everybody, which makes you realize that you should always have some sort of protection on underneath these products. But, you know, you watch the cost of growing and getting and inputting much higher, and yet grains keep kind of falling or slipping. They don't really have much traction, and it seems like there's some pressure on the markets. For what reason, I don't know. I mean, that certainly has not affected the price at the stores. The price of the stores continues to go higher. So there's a whole big mess going on here. And of course, we had that jobs number today, which was, you know, better than expected, but mediocre. And it's really part-time jobs, which puts us in real square aim of stagflation, which would be the worst of all of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the last leg is unemployment for that stagflation problem, right? Because once we see, and the government says that that's what their stated goal is to raise unemployment, which is really weird, Todd. I mean, I've never heard my government, or at least the Fed, say that their stated goal is to raise the unemployment, right? They want to put people out of work to help solve a problem that they started, right? So we're going to put you out of work because we screwed up and let inflation out of the bag. And then in doing so, we got to put you out of work to put inflation back in the bag. That doesn't make much sense to me. But I think that's what the markets are kind of reacting on. And we've got some really, really strange stuff happening. And it's been a long time since I've seen it like this. And you just mentioned in the break the great financial crisis of 2009. There might be some similarities there. So stay right there. We got to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's in Las Vegas. And we're in Nashville. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm the Cow Guy, and that's going to be a cheap segue into taking a look at some of these cattle prices, right? Let's stop and look at the Chicago live cattle. That'd be a great place to begin. 42 cents lower in the April contract to 164.37. June's down $1.02 to 158.65. So there you go. That's on the lows of the day, though. So I don't like the way that's trading. And if we go through the rest of them, I mean, August is off 90 cents to 158.45. That too is on the low of the day. So it's safe to assume that live cattle trading weak right now if they're all trading on the lows of the day. How about feeder cattle? Well, we've got the April contract down $1.35 to 197.80, and that's only 20 cents off the lows. May's down $1.67 to 203.80, and that too is about, 38 cents off the lows there. So that'll give you an idea about how these things are kind of trading a little heavy right now, folks. Then finally, let's take a look at lean hogs. Okay, well, that's a good one to end on, isn't it? April's up $1.45 to 86.52, and we got May up $1.32 to 94.07. Let's bring back in Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's in Las Vegas. Thanks. He's with Bubba Trading. What are your thoughts, real quick, on the livestock? What do you think here?
I think that they're acting about the best of any market there is. Cattle continues to go higher. Yeah, it's lower today, but the trends are dramatically higher. And we're getting very close to all-time highs in fat cattle. So and hogs are trending lower. And of course, you're going to get these bounces. You're going to get some sell-offs off of higher prices, and you're going to get some bounce off of lower prices. But I think they're acting exactly as they should. And I think when crude starts to take off, you're going to see a switch in leadership from cattle back to hogs. But right now, I think they're the cleanest market that there is, that has held its trend and it's not stuck in consolidation and not whipping around. Cattle continues to climb higher. Hogs continue to go lower, other than today's rally.
Well, I mean, you and I have both been around long enough to know that it's not that easy, right? And yes, we've heard all the stories about wanting to be long cattle, but there's going to be a day where you're going to have the trading guys kind of try to shake you out of that trade, see how convicted you are about how long you want to be, or if you can stay with the program, right? It's just not Ron Popeil, set it and forget it.
No, we're getting to that place. First of all, you should be protected all the time, and they're there as well. But I think we're getting to that place, Scott, where you and I say high prices will cure high prices, and they're getting close to those numbers that are unsustainable in the cattle markets. And of course, the hog markets are getting to really low levels. Except the one thing I can make for hogs is the contango and the formation going out in the future bodes pretty well for hogs.
All right, great stuff as always. Have a great weekend. Todd Horowitz, he's with Bubba Trading. He's also in Las Vegas. I want to bring back here to Nashville.